watch us on TV Santa Barbara and goodlifetelevision.org. We welcome you, and we also welcome you who may be watching live. We've never done this before, but apparently we're on Facebook Live right now. So hi, Mom. If anybody else is out there, we love you. It's good to have you with us. I have a special guest here today. Is Will Breman is with me, and Will is a unique musical talent and a great guy. Will, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
For those of you who don't know, Will was a finalist in the 2019 season of The Voice with Team Legend.
Yes, sir.
Now, your music, you can be found at Spotify.
Yeah, I can be found on all the streaming platforms. Spotify is one of them. You could also find me on Apple Music or Amazon or Tidal or basically anywhere that you can stream your music.
And they can check out the Santa Barbara Soul Music, and that's one of the
that's one of the records that's up there. Yes.
Okay, nice. I wanted to start with kind of your upbringing, and I read about you, and you've talked about it, that you first started learning music as a way to kind of help you with your Asperger's.
For sure.
So talk about that.
Well, yeah, no, I'd say some of my earliest memories were with my mom. My mom is a closet vocalist, and she would sing around the house. She had a giant 90s era karaoke machine that was the size of a mini fridge.
Oh, really?
And some of my earliest memories were growing up singing with her, and learning the songs that she had liked. And she's a product of the 80s, so a lot of Blondie, a lot of Duran Duran, that sort of thing. But later on, when I went to middle school, I had found out that I had a form of autism called Asperger's syndrome.
Okay.
I think it's something different now based on how they've changed how they diagnose it.
Yeah.
But I was very socially awkward growing up, still kind of am, and I didn't have a lot of friends. So as a way to cope, I taught myself guitar, and I would write songs, and
wow.
I just kept up with it, and it led to the craziness that I guess it is today.
Yeah, and I also saw something about, are you trying to do something to kind of raise awareness, give back to kids with autism, or is that something that's on your mind?
When I initially got on to NBC's The Voice, when I initially started doing that show, I didn't really know what the plan was. I kind of went in just happy to be there in a way.
Yeah.
And over time, it took a lot of thought, it took a lot of talking with my friends, with my family about it, and I thought that would be a good time to be that person that I wish I looked up to when I was a kid. I know there's a lot of kids that deal with being on the autism spectrum, right. And sometimes it can get a little bit underrepresented, or I guess just to build knowledge and awareness of it, just so people can have a better understanding of what it is. I think having those conversations builds empathy, and with empathy comes solidarity.
Yes, that's wonderful. That's really good. Let's talk about The Voice. John Legend was actually a musical influence on you.
Absolutely.
So then you find yourself singing a duet with John Legend. How was that?
Oh my goodness, it was
something I've never done.
Something I don't think was real. No, it was a blur. It was a complete blur. But to work with him, all you could use any word in the book. He's an influence to me. He was just someone that I looked up to, and it's so cool nowadays to add friend to that list, friend and mentor.
Right.
And being up there singing with him on a song that he wrote is just unreal. I still dream about it.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Lastly, before you sing, I wanted to ask you about live looping. I'm not a real music guy, but I was learning about this, how you do live looping, which is essentially you play all the different instruments, you record all the different instruments, and so it's like a one-man band.
Sort of, yeah.
How did you get into that?
I got into that. I had left a bluegrass group. For a long time I was a banjo player. if
Oh,
you
really?
could believe that. And when I left that group, one of the things that I noticed is that we would play gigs and would make money at those gigs, but when you split that paycheck amongst 5 or 6 musicians, it doesn't pay rent.
Right.
And so honestly, it came as a way of trying to make money and to be self-sustaining as a musician early on. You know, why hire a band when you can be the band?
Right.
And so that's what ended up getting me noticed in and around the Central Coast. When I started playing shows from Ventura all the way up to SLO County, that's what I would do. And I would just take my little looper board. It's all run through a pedal system. And it worked, you know. And I felt like I got all these cool arrangements that I didn't have to argue with band members about.
Right.
You know, it's just a lot of fun to do, and I think it just adds a cool interactive element to my live show. But nowadays, thanks to the voice, I can hire a band, and we occasionally play bigger shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll always keep live looping somewhere in my set.
That's awesome. And you were, obviously, the pandemic has interrupted this calendar.
Yeah, quite a
this
bit.
year. Yeah, a little bit. But as soon as this lets up, you're going to be back out there and people can come watch you.
Absolutely. I'm planning on hitting the 805 hard, but I'm also planning on doing a lot more national touring. I think the beauty of this pandemic is that it's given me a lot of opportunity to get back into writing. So hopefully I can get to recording those ideas into new projects. And it's also given me an opportunity to go back to school and just hone up on my skills.
That's
know?
fantastic.
So no, it's a lot of fun. And then you know, when we do hit it hard again, we'll just hit it harder than we did.
I think we're all going to appreciate a lot of stuff, like going to concerts and
Oh, absolutely.
moving
Absolutely.
around. Yeah. Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you, man.
This is wonderful. It's amazing. You're a fellow Westmont College graduate like me.
Of course.
So that's good for you. And you're going to go over there now and play.
Yes.
While so he's going to walk over there, Will Breman. And in the meantime, he's going to play in 1 second. But in case you're new to Good Life Television, wanted to welcome you and tell you a little bit about it. We started this program really to highlight the good, to inspire, to empower people, to encourage people, sometimes to educate people. It's really about stories. One of the things I've realized is everybody has a story, and one of the things I like to do is kind of to unpack them, and so that's one of the things we try to do from guests like Will Breman, who is, you know, has Asperger's and is a musical genius, where we can bring him to you. We've had some guests that you might recognize their name, and some guests that you definitely wouldn't recognize their name, but the stories are all kind of just as cool. So if you go to goodlifetelevision.org, we're on TV locally here in Santa Barbara, but most of you don't live in Santa Barbara. So if you go to goodlifetelevision.org, you can watch all the episodes. They're between 20 minutes to an hour for the full form interviews. It's a pretty diverse group. I think we've recorded 30 or so interviews so far. So from NBA legend Jerry West, which he sat down with us for an hour. It's a really fascinating interview. Talked about his upbringing, talked about his basketball career. Really interesting time with Jerry West. To Nicole C. Mullen, she's a Nashville Christian musician who's won multiple awards, is an amazing woman. We talked a lot about the current environment in the country and kind of race relations, and she's just a mature, wonderful woman that you'll love to hear from her. Some local people, Gordon Guy is on the program, who's dealt with addiction and recovery, and he's now the CEO of a recovery house in Santa Barbara. Incredible guy. John Daly is on the program. John has been sober for 25 years. He tells an amazing story about kind of the process of when he got sober. It's really inspiring. I've had a lot of people who deal with that issue that have commented. We've had some young people on. Recently we featured, the Turner Foundation here in town has given 4 college scholarships away this summer for the first time. And we got to interview all 4 of them. And these are amazing young people. The most recent one we had on is this young man named Christian. He's an 18-year-old or 19-year-old young man who, parents didn't speak English, nobody had gone to college, was raised at a Turner Foundation property here in town, and went to the tutoring center, and ended up going all the way and just working hard, and he's made it. And he's now heading to UCSB this fall. Incredible story. These are just great stories. And so we weren't planning on launching this in a pandemic necessarily. We were planning on launching this anyways, but it just turned out that, right about the time we were going to launch it, we had this coronavirus. So a lot of people have had a lot of spare time and been at home. You can only watch so many episodes of The Office. Believe me, I've maxed out on that category. So a lot of people have been tuning in because it's good news. And the other thing I'd say about Good Life is it's authentic. This is not like The Good Life, like shiny, happy people with nice cars. It's real good life, the good stuff. I mean, we talk about real issues. We've had people that have had really tough stuff happen to them. I'll give you one example. Grace Fisher. She's a friend of ours in town. She was a perfectly healthy high school senior, musician, incredible young woman. And all of a sudden she got this incredibly rare virus that paralyzed her, literally, almost overnight. It's now 5 years later. We had her on with her mom, and we got to walk through their story about what they're doing now in this new life and how she's approaching this. It's mind-boggling, and it'll change your perspective. If you think you have problems, you might not. It turns out you might not. So Grace Fisher, it's another episode you can watch. So it's real stories. We keep it real. We try to be really authentic. So people that are dealing with tough stuff, people who've overcome, entrepreneurs who've created a business and lifted a lot of boats, whatever it might be. So check it out, goodlifetelevision.org. I think I've talked long enough at this point for Will Breman to be set up to start singing, which means you want to go watch him and enough of me. JP, shall we? All right. Will Breman from The Voice is next.
Trying to figure out which camera angle I need to look at. All right. Cool. All right. My name is Will Breman. We're going to play some songs. This one's called Anne Marie. Anne Marie, I met you at a house show in IV. Your Charlie skin and bubbly smile made me notice you, and your style so effortless and chic. Every day I see you long boy out from Sabado, head out to work making that espresso, trying to support those college dreams. I've only seen you from a distance, and our friends say you're awesome to be around. But if I wasn't so dang timid, I'd have asked you by now. But Anne Marie, forgive the shyness, it's a part of me. I'd rather know you better than stay in the background, wishing for you to notice me. I could see us in the afternoon at Henry's Beach, learn about each other as we stroll past all the mansions and keep the tar off of our feet. Or maybe set up a picnic by the Mission Hill. It doesn't matter to me long as we can still enjoy each other's company. I'm up for whatever you're saying, if it means I had the chance to take you out. But if I wasn't so dang self-conscious, it would have happened by now. But Anne Marie, forgive the shyness, it's a part of me. I'd rather know you better than stay in the background, wishing for you to notice me. La do 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 da do da 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 da. La da 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 I hate being curbed by my emotions, but I can't leave these feelings up in the air. So if you don't mind me being this straightforward, I'll just ask you right here. But Anne Marie, forgive the shyness, it's a part of me. I'd rather know you better than stay in the background, wishing for you to notice me. Da, 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 da. I just want you to notice me. Ooh, ooh, I just want you to notice me. La, do, 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 my, I just want you to notice me. Yeah, 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 yeah. I just want you to notice me. Yeah. Oh man. Thank you everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love that we're all socially distancing too, because I know the cameras aren't seeing that, but they are. I'll do a new one. So I'm gonna put this one out next February. Yeah, I'll just go into it. Sometimes I write petty breakup songs. That's all I'm gonna say. Doesn't have to do with anyone in particular. I just felt like I was in the mood to write a petty breakup song. And then Taylor Swift put out her new album, and I'm like, oh shoot, well I guess this isn't as unique as I thought it was going to be. Alright, it's called Tried. Traded you
you're just like a queen, too one-sided. Now I can see square one posted, mostly relieved that it all went to waste. Cause while I was on my hustle, you were on the gram, stunning for some follows and likes. Could've done without the texting, stories and the tweets, whining how you tried and you tried. Don't tell me you tried, cause that implies that you put in just a little bit of effort. Don't tell me you tried, cause that implies that you sacrificed a little bit of time. Told me your love wasn't fake, shook it how bad those words have aged. When one day later you went straight, fully back in your ways. And this new boy you've been seeing looks like he could be an extra out of Tiger King. Quality freaking human, made fun of my ASD to try and get you to leave. Don't tell me you tried, cause that implies that you put in just a little bit of effort. Don't tell me you tried, cause that implies that you sacrificed a little bit of time. You could say it was never meant to be, at least that part is easy to believe. Just don't tell me you tried, cause that implies that you put in just a little bit of effort. Whoa. You said you were afraid of being seen as the bad guy. Gee, I wonder why that would be. Those scarlet tinted lenses looking really cheap, and maybe your 7 fans disagree. Don't tell me you tried, cause that implies that you put in just a little bit of effort. Ain't worth it to cry, cause I don't wanna have to waste any more of my own time. You could say it was never meant to be, at least that part is easy to believe. Just don't tell me you tried, cause that implies that you put in effort. Thank you. That was a quick one. Do I have time for one or two more? One more? Okay, we'll do one more. Well, thank you so much to Good Life Television for having me here. It's fun working with Good Life TV and the Turner Foundation. My name is Will Breman. You can find me all over social media under the same handle, Will Breman Music. My last name is B-R-E-M-A-N. You can also find me on my website, same thing, Will Breman Music. And you could find all of my music on all your favorite streaming services. You know, your Apple Musics, your Spotifys, your Amazons. I think I'm even on MySpace Music. I don't know. Don't really know. Can someone check? Is that still a thing? Is Tom still there? Is he okay? Tom was my only friend. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Anyways, I'm going to end with this one. Because this brings me back to my days when I was a banjo player in a bluegrass band. And it has a lot to do with the Goleta Butterfly Preserve. Y'all have been, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I love being local, and I don't have to explain what the Goleta Butterfly Preserve is. But this song happened there, and it's a true story. I hope you guys like it. It's called Butterflies. I took my baby to see the butterflies, and it was a lovely Goleta day outside. The type of morning where the sunbeams that break through the clouds light up the cliffs by the beach. And as we drove there, my girl got so excited, I couldn't think of someone else to do life with. Cause at that moment I was so crazily in love with her, and I could tell she was the same. We had been there before, and I knew it was a favorite place to be. And for months I worked hard stalking shelves to get her a ring to make that day real sweet. That ring was patiently waiting in my pocket as we got out the car and started walking. But then I looked at my darling and I noticed her mood start to drastically change. And this had happened before, so I blew it off. She'll see those butterflies and bounce back strong. I was too busy being so patiently in love with her, and I thought she was in love with me. We had been there before, and I thought it was a favorite place to be. And for months I worked hard like a dog to get that ring and try and keep her here with me. baby to see the butterflies, and it was obvious the hurt in her eyes. Even though I tried to convince her everything was okay, but I couldn't fix the problems in her mind. All I could really do was watch and cry. And just like those butterflies, I watched my baby fly away. La do do da 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 da. La do da 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 la. Da 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 That was the day she said she wanted to leave. You couldn't imagine how much those words hurt me. She called a friend to get her home and left me sitting alone up on those golden cliffs. And for a moment I thought of jumping off, but I knew this was something I couldn't stop. So I walked back to my car thinking like this huge weight just fell off of my neck. And I drove home and I sold that stupid ring for more than I bought it for instead. I took my baby to see the butterflies, and it was obvious the hurt in her eyes. Even though I tried to convince her everything was okay, but I couldn't fix the problems in her mind. All I could really do was watch and cry. And just like those butterflies, I watched my baby fly away. And just like those butterflies, I watched my baby fly away. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Will Breman, everybody. Thanks for watching Good Life. We'll see you next time. Great.
Thank you.
Woo! That worked. Y'all happy with that? I'm happy with that. Ooh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Should've just had the mask on the whole time.
If you like what you just saw, there's a lot more at goodlifetelevision.org. Good Life TV is really about the good things. If you like what you just saw, there's a lot more at Good Life. If you like what you just saw, there's a lot more at goodlifetelevision.org. Good Life TV is about the good things in life. We try to dwell on. If you like what you just saw, there's a lot more at goodlifetelevision.org. Good Life TV is really about the good things in life. We try to dwell on noble, hopeful, excellence. So go to goodlifetelevision.org. You can see a broad range of guests, some overcomers, some entrepreneurs, just incredible people. So I encourage you to check it out, goodlifetelevision.org. Thanks for watching.